Hey guys, it's Juan for JuanSource.com, and you guys probably haven't heard my voice for a while, but I'm back doing a commentary. Um, Obviously, MR15 is the craze these days, so I don't want to do any more CGS demos, at least for now. And I've had this series of demos requested. This is verGe versus Hyper. This is the CVOP Season 2 Finals. Now this is going to be on Train. This is the second of third map we played. The first map we played was Inferno. We actually lost this series. The first map we played was Inferno, and we beat him down pretty badly. So I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and do that demo. I'm gonna have to take a look at it and see how much there is to actually go over about it, because it was pretty, I don't know, it was pretty boring probably from a viewer's perspective. But this is the second demo. We lost this map and we lost the next map. But as far as how this T side went, it was actually, I was really happy with how this worked out. So I think there's going to be a lot of things you guys will be able to learn, in particular from this T half, and then we'll look later into CT and look at the things we can pick out about that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this demo started. Actually, I am going to pause it here just for a second so I can talk about setting up this pistol round and why we do it exactly. So you're going to see me throw a flash here, or sorry, a smoke here, and then two flashes out middle, okay? Now the reason we're doing this is because we're faking a strat that we were known to do. Literally, every team that we ever played on Train knew we would do the same pistol because it worked so well. Literally everybody knew what we were doing. So what we're trying to do is feed off of that. So what that old pistol was I would do this smoke and then two flashes out middle, one towards Z and then one towards the 6th lane. And then we would have four players stroll out ladder, two deagles picking on the lanes with two Glocks with the bomb pushing up into the bomb lane, obviously. And that usually worked really well until teams started kind of knowing exactly what we did. I don't know, and we ran a bunch of times and everybody knew what we were doing, so they countered it. Anyhow, so what we're doing with this strat is we're setting it up to look exactly like that last pistol that I just talked about. I'm going to be doing the same smoke and flash pattern from middle, so it looks like that strat, but instead of hitting down ladder, we're gonna make a slight adjustment and just plow down that inside. So I'm going to go ahead and play this out and show you guys how it works. So I'm throwing that smoke. You see my four teammates on the radar. I'm flashing middle towards Z. I'm flashing 6th lane. It looks exactly like that other strat, and then I'm going back. And let me switch over to my teammates' perspective. See, they're going straight down the lower with their Glocks out, and hopefully just get trades on these guys close. Hopefully it's just one guy there. And it was, however, he threw a good flashbang. Got us caught. Caught off guard. One teammate drops from lower, so we're at a bit of a disadvantage here. We get 2 kills, so now it's and we get killed. So it's a 2 versus 3. So I want to talk a little bit about this. And see, look at our positioning. Here's Paradox. He's in a bad position. The bomb is right by lower. We know that all 3 of the hyper players are here. I'm not even in the site yet. So instead of just rushing down, trying to plant the bomb, hoping that we get a couple good kills, what we want to try to do here is I'm gonna play this out for a second. I'm gonna go down and try to grab the bomb as quickly as possible. Obviously, Paradox pinned. There's really nothing he can do. I mean, he can't try to get out of this. They know where he is, and or at least have a good idea of where he is. He's gonna make a lot of noise. He's gonna be out in the open if he tries to get out there. So what I do here is I grab the bomb, okay, and so now the situation has changed quite a bit because I have the bomb. They don't know exactly where we are. They could think that we're going to go back outside. So what we're going to do is just sit it out and let them think. Make them split up. A lot of times, I've probably talked about this before in these 2 versus 3 situations, small game situations, you want to try to split up the defense. So just give them time, make them think that you could possibly go outside. It's key that I had the bomb here. If I didn't have the bomb, they would obviously still be camping it. But since I have the bomb, I could go anywhere. So we're going to get much more favorable situations here instead of, as opposed to before. And what Paradox was able to do here, since they were split up, they didn't really have him locked down. So he just walked to the end of the bomb train, or bomb lane, got a free pick. Now it's down to a 2 versus 3. Or sorry, a 2 versus 2. Sorry. Now, the bomb plant here, this is what caused us to lose the round. It's just a bad plant here. I probably should have planted on the middle of the bomb train like default. That way I could have watched it from upper and lower, and I have this bar in my way, not to mention watching it from lower. So that was a stupid plant spot. But Paradox makes another mistake here too. Is he's way over aggressive here. There's no reason in this 2 vs 2 to be just kind of running out. He gets caught in the open here. I mean, the other player does make a nice move, granted, but I mean, he should have been just hiding, maybe going into CT spawn, making use of the time, waiting for my call to know that they're defusing. But you know, since I had a bad plant spot, I was forced to go in lower. And so those two mistakes cost us that round. Better plant spot, Paradox less aggressive. But how we handled that and how we were able to, you know, split them up was definitely something that you want to be doing. So we're gonna be ecoing here, and we have good mid spawns. So we're gonna try pretty much the common eco strat is nade middle. We're gonna do a slight variation, though this isn't gonna work very well. We're gonna nade the middle, and then we're gonna try to go to the ladder and go down go down the inside. I guess we're trying to be, you know, cool or sneaky, whatever. But you know, it doesn't work that great, especially when they have Colts. You know, we probably could have just pushed along the 6th lane, maybe with Deagles and smokes. I'm gonna talk a little bit later about better eco strats that you can be pulling here. However, that one, you know, didn't work out so well. You know, trying to run across that middle with Glocks, you're obviously not going to do any damage. And then even so, when we get up the ladder, like, what's the point? There's going to be a guy, like, right there coming from inside. So it's not like we, you know, threw, like, a sweet fake or anything. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much going to be the round. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Okay. So we're AK buying here because we got the plant down on the first round, and we're running our default strat, which is a 2-on-2, myself on middle, 2 on alley, 2 on ladder. And throughout this half, I'm going to really stress the importance of using your time on these strats, especially because it's, you know, long. We have 2-minute round times, which is just forever. So, you know, you definitely want to take advantage of that as a T and just work at your own pace, work at whatever pace you need to be. Going out, you know, walking 90% of the time, you know, stuff like that. Now this strat works a lot better when Nick has an op. You know, he can be a lot more effective clearing the middle. He can just basically just hop out middle. Yeah, of course with some smokes and assistance from myself in middle and Helix at ladder. But it's a lot more effective when he can clear these lanes. When they're not cleared, see, I mean, people are just hiding in their trains and picking off guys as they come out ladder. Timing on the strat is crucial, and so, you know, timing was off a little bit there. We weren't all attacking kind of the same spots at the same time. We were just getting picked off at alley and then hoping our ladder guys could get trades, which didn't work out so well. So, like I mentioned, you really need an op on that type of strat, and that's why it didn't work. I think with an AK buy, a better option probably would have been to just do a straight inside take. If you have smokes, you don't really need ops to take inside. You know, that can't really be said about outside. A lot of times you really need ops to get past that ladder. Anyhow, so we're gonna be ecoing again. Obviously, because we just lost our AK buy. I think what we're gonna try to do here is just straight rush down lower. They were probably prepared for it. What I like doing these days is bunny hopping. I guess bunny hopping back in the time of this demo was really, like, I don't know, wasn't very common. What I like doing is trying to get a bunny hop off here, maybe with a deagle. Get to the upper really quickly. If not, maybe just buying a smoke or two and double smoking down lower and trying to get the bomb plant. That's another common eco. Now it's a 2 vs 1 here, and Paradox thinks he's a Superman and he's peeking these angles with knowing there's an offer out there. I'm not sure why he's doing that. He probably could have just tried to run back in lower, see if there was a guy flanking there, and you know, would have had a much better chance of winning the round. But you know, he's trying to deagle people cross map with who had an op. So, but you know, whatever. Okay, so this round we're going to do like a kind of a standard inside take. I've talked about this before, countering how teams play inside. Right now it seems like they're playing like a one-op, one-rifle setup, and so we definitely want to be using smokes to take inside, and kind of work at our own pace here. Now, we haven't really shown much of an inside presence yet on an actual gun round, given there only has been, this is only the second round, but as soon as we throw these smokes here, it's going to become pretty obvious that we're probably coming inside, because we haven't really shown otherwise. So we need to be taking this quick, and so you look how Ben's like slow clearing this. What we should have been doing is slow cleared like pretty much the entire way, and you know, you saw right there, I got picked with an op. As soon as you get down to that kind of oil tanker, whatever, pop dog train, you need to be flashing deep. I don't think we did that. We didn't wait for our flashes to pop. That's just a stupid move right there. We need to throw those flashes deep when we get down to that angle. Walk until you get to that point, and then just throw flashes and pop out. And then you guys need to be getting the trade on the rifler close, and then just flashing out the opper deep, and just disabling them until you get the bomb planted and get in your positions. So notice Nick didn't come inside with us. He wasn't well, I guess he was baiting, but it was supposed to be. We had our opper watch the flank from the top. Now, I don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth between this over the years. I don't know if that was an effective use of him. He definitely held down the flank there. You know, not very often did a flanker get through him when he was holding that angle at upper, and he could also pick guys running along that upper walk, although that wasn't too common. But anyhow, so I'm gonna get into this next round. We're doing a fast inside take this round. We're gonna kind of show that we're doing that last strat, because I think what they're doing is kind of like a Z strat where they send their Z player to help upper. So what we do is we just straight rush upper. This works even better with bunny hops these days. I mean, teams do this all the time. It's just get out upper and just drop before the upper has a chance to get back there. You see I threw those smokes and the flashes down like I did on the previous round to make that lower guy think we're doing the same strat to draw the attention to me. Meanwhile, like 3 or 4 guys dropped out upper, and it worked real well for us. So, we just pushed right up on them. And if we were in a group, why not just do that? Just get the rotators. They're going to come in one by one. If you're in a group of 3 just pushing up, there's not much they're going to do. You're just going to get trades on them at the least, so... We got the bomb planted, and we got into position, so that worked out pretty well. Okay, so we go back to default. I don't know, questionable call here, but anyhow, so we go back to our default. I guess this is the first time we have run it with the proper guns, meaning we have an op at the ladder. And it's so important to take your time here. I mean, we know that that's smoked out here. Really no reason to peek it. I mean, I guess we just got kind of lucky for killing that guy there. But, we should be waiting out that smoke. I mean, there's 2 minutes, but, Ben does. And then I guess he sees a hole here, so he goes out. Obviously, that was a good thing. And then at this point, we need to speed up everywhere else because the alley guys are going so quick, so our ladder guys need to speed up. I come out mid immediately when I see that kill, and then we just need to go out together here. Like I said, timing is crucial. So now it's down to a 2 versus 1. Nick just needs to cover me from the bomb train. He does a good job of this. I mean, obviously it's not versus a rifle, so he has the advantage, but I'm going to get the bomb planted. Nick's going to help me get out, and then, yeah, I mean, we're going to take this round down pretty easy, so because we're in a good position. I go to the side here. I just don't want to risk dying. I'm gonna Nick's just gonna kind of play with him, see if he can get him running up, which he eventually does. But if he didn't, Nick should just be hiding in the ladder, random peeking every 5 seconds to make sure he's not defusing, and I'll come out and assist him if he's not, or if he is like sticking on the defuse and Nick can't get him. But that would probably not happen very often. Okay, so we've won 2 straight. We're feeling that they're going to be on eco, so we just kind of do a hold. Obviously, that's not true. You can see that they have lots of money for guns. I guess I just wasn't anticipating that. They've been using a lot of rifles, I guess. They've been able to save their money, use it efficiently. So they're not ecoing, but we're just kind of setting up for default. And this strat is kind of open-ended here. And we're just going to kind of play it out. Nick catches that upper push. As soon as we get those 2 kills, what we need to be doing is just grouping somewhere. Paradox is going to, I guess, sell a solo fake at alley. I mean, that's debatable. We could bring him with us. I mean, we don't really need him to sell that much of a fake because it's a 3 versus 5, so they're going to be split up anyways. But we just need to go one way together, which we do at inside. I mean, we're basically treating this like an eco, but I mean, this is an advantage situation. So 3 versus 5 group, get the bomb plant, get in positions, and we should be good. See, there was nobody even playing inside. Paradox still a pretty good fake there. Okay, so now, I mean, they bought 3 in a row, so now we think they might be eco. Nick's going to take a pick middle. We do this occasionally on our default, even though our default is a 2-1-2. If Nick has a good spawner, if we feel they're going to be eco, instead of going down ladder right away, since you don't want to necessarily go down ladder immediately if you think it's going to be eco, Nick goes to pick middle. But on normal rounds, normal gun rounds, we want to try to get these ladder guys down, you know, as quick as possible. They're so important to getting down, because if that guy can get, that rifler can get camped out, get in a good spot in the ladder before they get there, you know, it's much harder to take it. So, but they do get down because you know, they're probably just ecoing. Looks like they partially stacking inside. No, I actually think we lose this round, which is stupid. But Ben gets the kill there, coming out ladder. You know, taking their time, just walk clearing that. They did a good job of that. However, Nick gets killed here by Solrak here, hiding under the bomb trains, and this is just bad communication, or just, again, not taking our time. We know that Nick died. We're not sure where, but, you know, it had to be somewhere outside. So we just kind of foolishly ran along that back alley, not knowing where he was, and he just kind of mowed 2 of us down. And now, you know, it's a 2 versus 1. Paradox is in kind of a tough situation here. I'm going to go fast forward a little bit, but... you know, up in front of him, and he's got a guy flanking along his side, so, you know, there's not much he's going to be able to do here. Get the bomb plant down, obviously, for money, but Spear was ready for him, so. Okay, so it looks like we're probably going to do a fast inside strat. I think we mainly AK bought. Problem here was that that guy obviously got there too quick. That can obviously be solved with bunny hopping or pre-flashing that corner. It looked like he didn't even have that great of a spawn, and we had pretty good ones. So I mean, that could have gone either way. Like it's not like he was completely ready for that. He just came around that corner spraying, and he got 2 headshots. Which was unfortunate, but you know, again, pre-flashing that corner, if you don't get a bunny hop off, is what you want to be doing there. You don't want a guy to be able to pop out and spray you down like that. You know, if we were able to get that kill, I think we would have been in a good position to drop and get the plant down. Unfortunately, we did not. So it's down 2 versus 4. Again, you want to try to split them up. They did a good job of getting that entry. However, they still had. I'm sorry. They had all 4 guys in there. So I mean, they had what, a minute left in the round. They should have used that time. You know, at least 30, 40 seconds. Made them think. Made them split up. I mean, we did have the bomb there. So that was kind of a stupid move going down right away. Okay, so we're gonna be eco. We lost 2 straight. I think we're probably just going for a bomb plant here. Yeah, these are in the days when Nick didn't know how to bunny hop, and so they have an hopper in the back, and yeah, and a rifle up front. We were hoping that they might be playing that op at Z early in the round. They weren't. They were ready for it, and so, you know, that didn't work. Like I said before, using a couple of smokes down right there completely isolates that opper. Maybe 2 smokes and a flash. You know, just buying that, and then you'll be able to get a plant down. And you know, if you're able to get some, you know, an entry kill, maybe you can get that rifle, and you can have a chance to win the round. So, you know, just running down there blindly wasn't that great of a move. Using a couple of smokes and a flash probably would have been better. Although that has to be done very quickly. I mean, you don't want to give them chances to, you know, rotate and flank you when you're on eco like that. So Ben's saving on his gun. I don't know if... Yeah, it's definitely not worth watching. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this. Okay, so far, we've kind of varied through 2 strats. We've used inside, like a standard inside strat, you know, changing up the pace a little bit on it, and a default, like, 2-on-2 strat. What we want to do here is... basically, we want to just kind of shift some people around and they're so used to our default that they'll look for two guys ladder. If they kill them, they're gonna shift to middle, and then they're gonna be alley. So they know like exactly where we are. So what we want to do is just shift guys around a little bit to throw them off balance. So what we're doing here is going like a strong alley presence, and we're gonna go 4 guys there with one just holding the inside. But you can see Ben's holding the inside, and he's gonna come down ladder eventually. Again, taking our time here, using our op. There's no reason to be quick here. You know, hopefully they'll get impatient and Nick can get a free pick here, and then we'll just explode out. So you can see what Nick's doing here. We're boosting him on the fence. You know, playing in smoke back in the day wasn't as, you know, popular, so we're not looking for that as much. Just looking for peaks, and you know, just waiting on that. So Nick's just clearing this. Once it's cleared, then we begin walking up. You can see us going. Any second here. So again, just walking the entire way. No reason to run here. So as soon as we get spotted, we need to start going. That guy peeks with a nade out. Had he peeked with his gun, he could have got a bunch of kills. I had a nade out too, but you know, that worked out well for us. So as soon as I see that upper Z, I say, okay, we need to go. I'll go backside. Just overwhelm this guy here. He's not on the ramp, so you know we should be able to get this straight here. I get the kill on that guy, and now it's a 4 versus 1. So he's probably just going to be saving him, going for exits. Since we're low on money, obviously we don't want to be chasing. Okay, so again, I'm showing that we're doing our default strat here. I'm doing the nade pattern that I do from mid, and just making it look like we're going middle, and then we're gonna hit inside. Okay, and so I'm tossing that smoke down, and then I'm gonna meet up with the other guys inside. And normally, this wouldn't work that well, because you know there's a lot of time that we're using between throwing our nade patterns and going inside. You'll see, you know, I threw my nade patterns pretty much around. Now I'm going inside. And so that doesn't seem like it's very good of a fake. But if you think about it, on the last round, you know, we kind of threw something similar, and then we walked alley. So, you know, that walking that we did last round gives us a little bit of a time cushion to kind of go inside now. You know, that it's not going to be that obvious that we're going, you know, where we're going this round, because we spent so much time last round that it's not unusual for us to be spending so much time again. And when Paradox gets that kill at alley, that's huge. Now that, you know, that's obviously going to have an effect on rotates. There's going to be maximum 1 guy inside. I mean, pretty much guaranteed. So we just need to take this together, get the trade on him, get the bomb plant. And you see, there he is. We get that kill, and, you know, we have this site, and there's nobody even. I mean, there's a guy at Z, out of Z, but, you know, that's it. It's a bomb plant, and you see Nick's holding this flank, and you know we should be good. Good here. I mean, see how screwed that guy was to peek Nick. Yeah, and see, I mean, obviously he holds the flank very well, but you know, he could be possibly used better on guys coming out of Z. But you know, I guess either one works. I mean, I guess I never really use an opper on entries at inside, because you're not really trying to pick the guy. Nice shooting, Nick. You're not trying to pick the guy in the back of the site. I mean, that guy's just going to be, you know, strafing back and forth. He's going to be hard to hit, you know, between those trains and stuff. So you're not trying to pick that guy in the back of the site. You're just trying to avoid him. Smoke him out, flash him out. You're trying to kill the guy in the front, and you don't necessarily need an opper to do that. So you can see why you don't need an op to take inside. And since Nick had off, we just used him for flank watching, because we really didn't need him inside, and he can lock that down. So I'm going to pause here for a second. We're doing a fast mid strat here. They might be eco, so this is somewhat risky, but I really like this strat because it's a big change of pace. They don't really see it coming, and especially if you have 2 ops, it works really well. You can see Nick and Paradox are going to be hopping out the middle. What we do is send the first op to pick the lane, second op to pick the Z. We have 1 rifler assist with them and use flashes. You can see that's me. And then we have 1 rifler drop down ladder quick, and this ladder guy is just going to be kind of staying ladder the whole round, watching inner flank. And then the alley guy is going to clear out the alley. You can see Helix is going there. He's going to clear out the alley and then come out and assist, get any trade kills. whatever that we cleanup kills that we didn't get. So we get that pick in the lane. We come out, clear this out quick. They were eco, so this round was pretty easy. But you can see how this strat would be pretty effective if they don't see it coming. If you're used to doing slow strats, you know, this is a very good change of pace, just to keep them off balance. And so, you know, just mixing in this with all the other adjustments that we made so far is just kind of mixing in with fakes, you know, making certain strats look like other strats, you know, certain, you know, shifts in players, you know, instead of doing a default, you know, send like four alley, just small shifts every once in a while to keep them off balance. Don't let them be able to predict you. You know, it's kind of an art. Just try to think what they're thinking, and you want to use that knowledge to, you know, call a better strat and make better adaptations. So again, we're gonna do this exact same strat again. You know, they may be thinking, okay, they'll never do that twice. Well, we're gonna do it twice, and then so, you know, we had really good spawns, that helps out too, and Nick hit some good shots there. And you know, we already got a 3 versus 5 advantage, and so we just gotta clear out these lanes, push up, have our oppers cover us, use smokes. See, you know, this alley guy did a good job of coming out though. You know, it was a little dangerous there having the bomb by himself, but anyhow. So we pieced together a pretty good half. It's a 4 versus 1 now, so obviously we're gonna win this round. But yeah, I mean, we pieced together a very good half. We lost the pistol, but still, you know, got 7 rounds in the half, which is pretty good for T-side train. And like I said, we did this by keeping them off balance, and you always want to try to be thinking that way when you're calling. So yeah, that's gonna be it for the first half. Let me load the demo into the second half and do it next. Okay guys, starting off the second half here. So our pistol strat, we're really not going to do anything fancy really. We're just going to play pretty much standard, except, you know, notice how we're really using our distance. I'll show everybody. Here's myself. Helix is playing deep, Paradox is playing at a corner, Nick's playing deep from upper, and you'll see how this really works out for us by being able to use our nades on that bomb train, take guys out, you know, pick guys running up the lanes, because we're playing so far deep. We're evading flashes with these trains as much as possible, even though, I mean, although they probably don't have that many flashes, but you know, we're just playing these lanes. Look how far back we all are. Now that first guy probably shouldn't have even bothered running up, but see, we you know, we get them where we're at advantage. They obviously have blocks, we have USPs. We have talked about this before. This is really nothing new. Just you know, playing the advantage here, playing deep, using our USPs, keeping distance. So I mean, and had they come outside, we were playing deep too. We had one guy kind of in the 5 lane, picking down in the middle, one guy in Z, and one guy just kind of spotting the alley, and then he would have just kind of flashed and dropped back. So again, using your distance is what you want to do on pistol round, as a CT that is. Eco round, obviously you want to get head armor here. That's your first priority. Then buy your gun. You know, MP5, FAMAS. You know, occasionally Colt, maybe one guy, whatever. But that guy needs to be pretty much protected. I buy a FAMAS here, head armor, and a flash. What I do here is, since I'm playing this upper corner, I pre-flash that. And, you know, if that guy had a deagle, I might have been killed there. But you know, I got there a little late. Maybe I shouldn't have gone there on that bad of a spawn. But anyhow, you know, that pre-flash was important. I was able to flash the second guy, get that guy killed, and then help my teammate down lower. So yeah, I mean, that was pretty much standard eco. I think I'm going to, again, pretty much do the same thing. What I want to do here, since I have a really good spawn here, pre-flash this corner again, even though I had a good spawn, and then just post up on here. I have a FAMAS, so now, you know, there's pretty much no way. I mean, unless the AK buy, but we're not expecting them to since they didn't get a plant, that I'm just going to spot this corner, and then, you know, if there's anything, I'll call my teammate over, but otherwise we're able to stack outside. And so, you know, Paradox and Struck, they're kind of like assisting each other here. Helix and Nick Noid are kind of playing middle. I mean, John doesn't really need to be pushing middle here. No reason to on an eco. You don't want to give him that TMP, but anyhow, so we'll watch Paradox get a 4 kill. Alright, yeah, so standard eco. Slow him down in alley. Okay, so we're gonna do our default. This is Struck playing inside solo. You know, he plays a lot of different angles. He'll mix it up. He'll spot feet sometimes. He'll play upper corner, and then Nick is assisting him. Helix is playing the alley. He likes to play these barrels a lot, and you know, I don't know. Looking back on this, I don't think it was that great because all of us were playing pretty much solo. It relied a lot on individual skill. And you're going to see that come into play a lot throughout this half, how we really don't have that great of support on each other. Though, I mean, Terrain is kind of a hard map to give good support. However, yeah, we certainly could have devised some setups that worked a little bit better in our favor. But anyhow, you'll see everybody's kind of playing solo. But now it's down to a 3 versus 3. John does a good thing by camping in this smoke here. He's going to see a guy right there. Good reaction shot. And then, you know, it's down to a 1 versus 3, and they just isolate him and take him out together. There he goes. So it might be an eco, deagle eco, or something like that. They obviously lost their gun round. They're gonna try to get plant down. Obviously, inside rushes are pretty common. Ecos, so we want to be watching for that. Now, Ben does a pretty good job here. Pre-nading that on eco is usually a good idea. He didn't have great support here. Nick should have been helping with upper, not lower. That was probably just miscommunication there. I mean, they weren't really watching each other. But now it's down. I mean, they were ecoing. Now it's down to a 2 versus 3, and they have guns. So, you know, we probably should just wait for them to plant the bomb and then collapse on him. John gets picked. Toon hits a nice shot. And Paradox coming up. He hits a nice shot. Now it's down to a 1 versus 1, me versus Toon. I come down lower. I figure I have to get out before he posts up on me with an op. And here I was just blind, and I didn't know what to do. I figured I had pretty good cover from where I was, and I wasn't sure if he heard my defuse. So I figured I just need to keep on defusing. Since I'm blind, he's probably going to try to, you know, run up on me anyway. So I might as well just hope that he didn't hear and continue to defuse. Obviously, he heard it. I was probably about 2 seconds away from defusing it, but yeah, tough luck. Okay, so 6th round here. Let's take a look at Ben. Now again, he did something like this on the last round too. He kind of spotted that angle. Now he's going to play this pretty aggressively. He flashes that corner and peeks down. Now with them there, you know, obviously that wasn't a good thing. You usually want to do stuff like that if you have support, like from lower. If you can have like a teammate from lower flash up there or something. You know, and especially doing it that late in the round. You know, he did it 30 seconds in. You know, they're already going to be posted up on you and walking along that hallway. Especially when he threw that flash there. That's a dead giveaway that he's peeking that corner. Sometimes what I like doing up there, maybe there'll be an example of that this half, is just kind of playing up there at an angle. Like right here. I mean, I can't do it perfect with Source TV views, but you know, playing right here and just playing at an angle, and you can see their shadow coming up, and you can just get easy you know, reaction kills because you can see them coming. I mean, that's a good spot. You just gotta hope that they don't pre-flash it. And you know, if you're gonna do a late round, that's what I would like doing. I don't like peeking that angle. You know, middle to late round because they're going to be posted up on you. You know, especially from like upper, from the White Halls, they can be posting on that with an op. I mean, Nick's gotten, you know, tons of kills. There's a couple examples of him doing that last half of just getting guys peeking that corner, you know, middle round. Nick had an op and he was already posted. You know, and so, you know, Ben died. They were able to take the site, and it all kind of collapsed from there. So. Okay, so I think we still have guns. Now they're doing a fast middle here. See how they made that Z? And they're collapsing on it right away. Now I don't know where the rest of us are. It seems kind of weird that. Oh, why did we stack inside? I have no idea why we did that. Maybe we were just saving guns since our teammates died. Figured there was no chance, but I don't know why we did that. Maybe we were missing 2 guns and we just took a chance and stuck inside. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys a inside setup that I really like. You see, Ben does this pre-nade, which is good, but then he shifts into this setup with Nick. Now I don't think Nick did a great job of watching up here, but I think the setup is, what I really like doing inside is having a guy flatbed here and just kind of random peeking this angle here, and I mean, you can pretty much see them without them seeing you. It's very difficult for them to see you. And then just have Nick watch upper, Nick watching upper from Z. See, now they're kind of both watching lower. I mean, they do have a smoke upper, which gives them some protection, but you know, that isn't a great angle for Ben to be watching that, you know. I mean, sometimes people will drop on you and you'll get a midair, but that's also not an easy shot. And when Ben sees two of them here, and, you know, the other guy ran back in, that's pretty much a dead giveaway that they're going to come back inside, especially, you know, when there's a smoke upper and nothing came out. You know, they're going to go inside or outside. So, you know, we need to make that rotate. Problem here is we're, again, in a very individual setup. You'll see I'm pretty much by myself here in middle. Helix is pretty much by himself at alley. I don't know where Paradox is, but yeah, I mean, we're all pretty much by ourselves, and the problem is, you know, they're just going to isolate us. You know, they're going to try to get trades. I get one kill here, but then they know exactly where I am, and there's so little you can do from tower. You know, I went here almost every round, and there's so little you can do after you get the first kill. I mean, they know you're there. They're going to post up on it. They're going to nade it. You just got to hope you have some assistance from your teams, and we didn't have that. But anyhow, we did manage to get it down to a 2 versus 2 because I got some trades that, Ben got some trades, whatever. But 2 versus 2, they make a smart move by cutting inside. They knew that we were both there. Now it's a 2 versus 1. They need to be going together. They just need to, you know, get in a group, and instead of checking this, you know, 1 by 1, they need to be checking this together. They're a little bit split up here. They're giving JD the option to kind of kill them one-on-one, which obviously isn't a good thing. They have a pretty good idea where he is, and I mean, I guess they had to. You know, instead of what they did there was walk and slow clear, like they were split up and walked. What I would have done is just stayed together and ran the whole way. You know, that way you can cover more distance at the same time. And if you know, if you find him, then you can pretty much guarantee yourself the trade. But yeah, I mean, that's just that wasn't played very well there. Okay, one thing I've kind of noticed is they've been pretty obvious with their strats. I mean, when they throw their smokes and stuff inside, they pretty much commit immediately. You know, if they're gonna go inside. If they don't, then they go outside. So, you know, we have a pretty good read on them. Although we haven't been picking up the rounds, you know, because of poor kind of solo setups and just playing stuff, you know, not together in these small game situations. But anyhow, so we're just kind of setting up default outside, waiting for things to happen. Ben is pushed inside. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about pushing there. He did a good job of getting that entry there, and as soon as he got that, he did a good job of getting away. We got the entry. That's all that we need. Now it's going to be much more difficult for them to actually take a site. So, and since Ben pushed them back so far inside, you know, it's pretty obvious that they're probably going to go outside. You know, there's really no action anywhere. And when there's no action anywhere, that generally means they're probably walking somewhere, which is more than likely alley or middle or, you know, not so much ladder, but yeah, look at this angle Mike's playing. I like this angle. He's not peeking directly down. A lot of oppers would expect him to peek directly down, and they'll kind of jump clear angles, and they'll get like reaction shots on him. But since he's peeking this angle, a lot of times he'll get free kills on walking AKers. And so, you know, playing goofy angles like this is definitely a good thing to do. Well, you know, when the time starts getting down to 30 seconds, he throws a flash, and, you know, just to hold him off, assuming that, you know, they have to come pretty much now if they want to have a chance at winning the round. And so, you know, with Ben getting that entry early in the round, although that was risky, you know, it clearly paid off. Okay, so like I said, they've been pretty obvious with their strats, but this round they're going to do a good job of kind of switching it up, and you're going to see the importance of kind of keeping the pace different. And so, you know, I'm playing kind of how I have been, standard mid. We don't have a direct spotter on alley. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm thinking of a different round. What they're going for here is just double smokes on the inside. You know, when we're opping it, you know, this is exactly what you want to do when we're taking this. Is they need to get their smokes deeper, though. See, they kind of smoked themselves out. You know, that doesn't really do themselves a whole lot of good. They need to get those smokes deeper. I guess they did get a couple more out there, but see, they're flashing deep with it. did a good job of having our riflers flank. They were pretty obvious with those smokes. They came right away. I think they must have threw like 4 smokes, so that's why we knew to flank right away. And John did a good job of flanking. We had our riflers and our oppers posted on it, and we were able to bring it down to 3 versus 1 now. Last guy, and I flank and see him, and that's the round. So here's the round I thought was last round. So I'm just kind of setting up for my mid, waiting for it, and then they're already out to alley, which was, I mean, they were out alley 15 seconds in the round. So they did a good job of changing up their pace. I really wasn't expecting that. They got a free kill on me, and so they were able to open up the alley. However, we were in pretty good position, and so it's down to a 2 versus 1, and they know where he is. He's got no health, and so. This is a pretty good shot right here. Yeah. Saw pixel, but yeah. Now we're ahead 14-12, and I have absolutely no idea how we lose this match, but I guess you'll see within the next 4 rounds. Just stupid moves, and whatnot. But so they might be equal here. I think they've lost the last couple. I haven't been keeping track exactly, but they're gonna be low on money, pretty obviously. So. We just need to be ready for that, ready for, rushes, places, explodes, groups of 5 going one place. And when we see all these smokes, and you can see Nick's position here. Just listen for a second. Yeah, see, when he hears that parade of steps, Nick, I don't know if Nick just has bad sound, but, you got to do something there. You either got to drop back to the next corner and be ready for it, flash, or something. But he heard a good, 3 or 4 guys turn that corner and just didn't react to it. He was going to try to no-scope off them at close range, 1 by 1, which obviously, isn't going to happen very often. So, he needs to react to that. That's just the importance of sound. And I've always given him a hard time about that. But, yeah, I mean, that could have cost us the round very easily right there. And had we won that round, win the match. But, Ben hits a nasty shot there. Now down to a 2 versus 2 again. They want to just be sticking together and just, well, I guess this is a 2 versus 1, but what Paradox did was they were both going to flank ladder, and then for some reason Paradox decided for a second to go back down ladder, and then he was going to go Z, but then he decided that was a bad idea, and so Ben went in, Ben killed a guy, and then Ben was in there by himself, and then Mike came down, 7 seconds later. So just stupid play. They need to be going at that together. They could have got the trade on the guy that, trade at the minimum. They could have just killed the guy that killed Ben, and then it would have been 2 versus 1. Mike could have covered, Ben defused, and they had a pretty good idea where they were, but they just didn't go together. It was stupid. We lost at least 2 rounds now because we didn't go together in small game situations like that. I mean, that's something that my teams have gotten better over the years. Playing those together, and that's a huge swing in matches. It's just being able to win those 2 versus 2s, 2 versus 1s. If you can win those consistently, you're gonna be a much better team, obviously. So, okay, so 13th round here. I'm gonna go ahead and show Paradox POV here again. He's playing that angle, and I think he's gonna get him. Oh, he's using a scout for some reason. Maybe that's a misbuy. That sucks. But yeah, I mean, I guess they haven't really been hitting alley all that much. And so he's gonna get a little bit aggressive here, I think. And I don't know why he's doing with a scout of all guns, especially a scout deagle. But yeah, I mean, I want to talk a little bit about aggressiveness in these rules, because it used to be a very common thing with CGS rules to pretty much like clear spots, push through them, relatively early in the round. However, with 145-minute round times, that doesn't become such a good idea, because teams will hold, until 30 seconds, and they'll be ready for pushes until 30 seconds, into the, left in the round. And so pushing and clearing out areas doesn't become nearly as effective as it was with CGS rules and short round times. I mean, as your defense, you got to be more ready to hold and less ready to push, like we were with CGS rules. I mean, because with CGS rules, CTs were so aggressive all the time, because you just have so little time to work with that you pretty much had to move with Ts, and CTs could be so aggressive and they could disrupt those strats because they knew when you were going to execute them. 1 45-minute round times, 2-minute round times, there's much broader range where you can execute, so it's much harder to disrupt those strats. And so Paradox pushing there, just a little bit impatient on our part, died right there, put us at an immediate disadvantage, and we got split up, whatnot, and we kind of all fell apart there. I mean, not to say that we can't win rounds 4 versus 5, but it obviously makes it more difficult. So another kind of a small mistake on our parts. And not to mention we've been doing pretty well just holding back on them. We just need to be playing together, holding back on them, and picking up rounds that way. Okay, so we are eco. I think Ben's got a gun. He's gonna try to make a move right away, which I mean I guess that's all right. But you can see how teams just hold back on you. And Ben just got headshotted as he turned that corner. And Nick has an op, and I think the rest of us have USPs. Now again, we're getting impatient. We're pushing here. We're giving them free kills. On eco rounds like this, as CTs, I think instead of doing like immediate pushes, you need to be doing either stacks or mid-round pushes, because teams are obviously just gonna hold. So I mean, pushing into those holds is a dumb idea. So either stack, hope they come to you, or mid to late round push and try to disrupt then. So 2 versus 4. I mean, we need to just save these guns for the last round, I think. I'm just gonna. Oh well, we lost the gun. That sucks. Okay. Okay, so last round here, we need to win it to push into overtime. Little spoiler, we lose, but yeah, I mean, so we're just gonna get into our default. Again, playing very individual. This is something that I've learned. I think a better idea would be play up on mid and up on ladder. I've talked about this before. Double smoke off one of them and focus on another. Just kind of isolate areas. I mean, obviously those double smokes don't last forever, so you can't do that forever. But yeah, Helix drops down on 1 health, so he needs to kind of fall back here. We shift away again. Paradox moves to mid. I move to alley again, playing very solo. We want to try to focus. Maybe double push alley would have been a good option. Double smoke off alley or something like that. Although back in these days, like we really never like thought about double smokes and stuff like that, or sitting in smokes. That just never crossed our mind. We were just playing gun to gun, but whatever. So Ben's watching inside solo. I mean, so we're still in standard setups here. Thinking this looks like an outside strat. Lots of smokes going off. Paradox gets the first entry on the guy outside. He pulls a flash out, kind of a mistake here. I'm hopping around here. I have nowhere to go, so I pushed into the alley. I'm lucky I even got out of that situation here. When alley's clear, I figure I have to go back out in the middle here. Help with these guys as soon as I can. So that like somehow didn't kill him. I don't know. That clipped something, I guess. But that kill would have won us, or at least brought us in overtime. I don't know. A lot of things just didn't go our way here. That was a stupid peek on my part. The opera knew I was there, and I had to jump up there. He killed me while I was jumping. So Ben brings it down to a 2 versus 1 here. I mean, he knows the other guy has an op. I guess he could have tried to pick up that op, or maybe. I mean, hiding under a train with a guy that has an op, the guy, you're not going to be able to move. The opera's just going to, you have to either hit a really nice shot or hope the opera blows, and with tune to, that's not going to be the case. So, all right, well, we lost that match. That stinks. And then we go to the next one here on Contra, which I will probably do next week or the week after. So, all right, yeah, I had fun doing this commentary. Hopefully I have more. I've been playing a lot more lately. I may, hop into some leagues for this summer. May go to some lands this summer. So hopefully I'll have some more, personal demos recent MR15 demos that I can do. So, yeah. Hope you guys liked it, and I'm out. See you guys.